Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Number 7 today, it's healing. So yoga for emotional well-being. We're almost at the end and it's been a bit of a slog through December, so I think we could all use a little bit of healing and downtime. Everyone's stressed, everyone's frazzled. So join me on the mat and I hope you find something that you need today. Thanks for joining me. Let's begin with a little bit of tapping because there's nothing more healing than some EFT to clear away our ailments, our injuries, maybe some congestion, maybe some pain, or maybe you're carrying something emotional this time of year. There's lots of tenseness and stress, so tap with me. Do a little body scan. Let's just check in with what you're carrying, what you're holding on to. You can skip this bit if you want. You've got the power on the video, but I feel like it just gets us into the right place for a little bit of yoga. So find what difficulty you've got, what you might be holding on to. Think about it for a minute. What does it feel like? What does it look like? Notice that. And we're just going to tap on our karate chop point. Do it with me. Even though I have this ailment, difficulty, emotion, I can deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this that I'm carrying, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this, and describe it in your own words, I deeply accept myself. Let's tap on it, just notice it. Start of the eyebrows, end of the eyes, just notice that whatever you're carrying, under the eyes, just notice it, acknowledge it. You can even say it out loud, under the nose, saying it out loud is even better, on the chin, acknowledging what you're carrying, on the chest, just notice that. Under the arm here, and crown of the head. Hopefully that gets your mind and body really primed and ready just to heal and let go a little. So breathe with me while we're standing. Inhale, arms come up, look up. Exhale, arms come down. Now I encourage you to feel your body as we move. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down with your own breath in your time. And when you arrive at the top this time, we're just going to do a little twist over to one side. Come halfway. Inhale and then twist to the other side. Let's do this a few more times, really stretching those arms. Little twist. And again, this should feel good here, warming up the arms and shoulders and the spine. And come back to center, hands to heart. And let's set a little intention for your practice today. Just a word, 1 or 2 words, maybe to represent something your heart desires, something you need. And I commend you for carving this time for yourself. So next inhale, we'll do a big swan dive, hinging at the hips, coming all the way into a forward fold. And let it all hang here. Really hiring out the stress if you can. And then let's reverse our swan dive and come back up. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center once more. We're going to try something a little different. So if you've heard of lion's breath, where we really poke the tongue out and really sort of har out our stress, har out our breath, we're going to do it with a bit of a forward fold here. So on the inhale, we go big inhale, exhale, forward fold, and with the ha at the bottom. So let's do it together. And again, inhale. Let me hear your ha's. So this should feel really good. Beautiful. So you can keep going with that if you like. It's actually something that can really shift some negative energy. So you can do a few more ha's, but just remember, big wide open mouth, tongue out. So just letting it all out. So let's just do a couple of sort of sun salutations here. I'm going to step to the top of the mat. We're going to inhale once more and exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, and then generous bend in the knees here. We're going to go into a plank, nice and strong, belly towards the spine here, and we'll do a little push up to the ground, maybe a little baby cobra. Exhale, and then we're going to round the shoulders, lift the hips back into down dog. So from here we're going to lift the right leg, bring that leg forward if you can. We're just going to do a little low lunge here, maybe even stretching that hip a little. You might even like to lift both hands off the ground. You should feel that in there. That should feel really good. And let's bring the hands down here, little twist, so opposite arm to the bent knee. Big breath, full expression, and other hand down. Feet come together for downward dog again. Let's lift the other leg now. Bring that through, and sort of this low lunge here. With your knee can be on the ground here, of course, but I feel like this is lovely for our hip flexors if we've been sitting all day. Maybe even hands can come to prayer. Opposite hand comes down and we twist towards that bent leg. This should feel good. Hands come together, plank once more, and we're just going to push up to the ground, but this time we'll untuck the toes and we'll stay here a moment. So let's put our forehead to hands, take a big breath, because after all this is about healing today. We're just trying to rejuvenate a little, pick up our energy, and really drop in to our body. Big breath. So from here, we're just going to lift our hands back here, lift the chest, lift the shoulders up, activating those back muscles. And if you want to lift the legs as well, big breath and exhale. We'll do that one more time. Hands and shoulders come up. Legs can come up too if they like. And exhale. Should feel the spine warming up here. This should feel really nice. Last one. Let's make it count. So elbows, shoulders, everything comes off the ground here in like a little bowl shape. Beautiful. And let go. And let's counter stretch here with a child's pose. So lifting our body off the ground. Knees can be wide here, feet together, and the hips come towards the feet. And it's like someone's pulling our hands and shoulders forwards. Exhale here. If your forehead doesn't come to the ground, grab a cushion or a block so that you can actually fully rest in this pose. Lovely. So walking the hands up, coming back up, knees come together here, little adjustment. So we'll go into a tabletop here, tuck the toes if that feels more stable for you. You can have them untucked if you like. Inhale to arch, exhale to round and look towards your thighs. Once more, inhale to arch. Look up and exhale to round the spine, looking down towards the thighs. So let's thread the needle now. So we're just going to lift that hand out and place this all the way under our, sort of like the forehead comes to the side on the ground here. Big breath in the pose, noticing how your body feels. It's not a performance. And let's come to the other side. Open that opposite side out, and then the hand sort of slides under that armpit and forehead to ground. It's almost like a little bit of a twist really, but it's opening up that shoulder blade. Should feel lovely. So I'm going to turn around here just so I can show you. So from that tabletop position, we're just going to come back up on our knees here, maybe a little counter stretch, maybe some little rotations, warming up here, circles with the hips. And we're going to put one foot out to the side, and we should feel it's quite stable here. So usually the toes are facing forward, but if it feels better a bit further out, that's okay too. So we're going to bend one side, so we're opening out here, stretching, lifting our chest and our heart center. This should feel like a beautiful big opener. And then we're going to roll forward, sort of stretching over the other way now. So then this arm comes over and we're opening up our side body. So you can feel that all down the hip and the ribs. So we'll do that again. Flow with me, round the other side, gate pose, and back to stretch the other side. Beautiful. Once more, rotate round and sweeping to the opposite side, feeling that side body, breathing into any tension and exhaling stress. And back to center. Let's do the other side. So foot is out, feel nice and straight and tall and stable. We're going to lean over, open up that sort of side stretch here. Should feel like the heart is sort of lifting and engaging, looking out perhaps behind you almost, and then sweep that arm around to that straight leg and the opposite arm comes up. Should feel like, whew, yeah, that's deep. Let's sweep it around once more. Support your weight here. Breathe. And then coming back around. So the side body here might feel different one side to another, and that's okay. Last one, open out. And stretch all the way around. Lifting that elbow to the sky. And back to center. Beautiful. Little wriggle, little left and right. Big breath. And take a moment to notice what it feels like to start to open up and release tension. Little challenge for you here. We're just going to lift this knee out to the side here. And this almost like opens up the hip, the glutes. And we're just going to bend to one side, feeling that groin stretch here. Gently, let's come back. Open that hip out to the side. Little bend here. Nice. And then we're going to try and do Malasana. So if you want to lean forward here to put your weight on your hands, we're just lifting both legs up. So it's a nice wide stance. And just find that spot where it feels comfy for you to bend all the way down, and our elbows are pushing the knees out. So it might need a little bit of adjusting. See if you can get that squat. That is just so good for our pelvis and hips and inner thighs. Breathe here, exhale tension. And then hands can come to ground, and we're just going to try and stand up however that looks for you. Doesn't have to be perfect. And let's walk the feet in here. One more forward fold, let it all hang. You might even like to clasp the hands at the back, interlacing the fingers and pushing those sort of shoulder blades with a bit of tension. And exhale all the stress. And then releasing, bend in the knees, reverse your swan, coming up. And once more, hands to heart center. So let's go for a flow here. So we're going to face, you're probably already facing the long edge of the mat. We're just going to take one big step here. And we're bending that back leg out, opening up the hips here. So warrior 2 is where the chest is open, whereas this little high lunge is where the hips are square to the top of the mat. But we're just opening that out, so the foot will come down, the hips open up, and our chest and arms are in the same direction. This should feel really strong and brave. Spread those fingers, looking over the front hand. The weight is in the front leg here. It should feel really strong. And let's reverse our warrior. Inhale. Exhale, elbow comes to knee. Arm sweeps around. Opening up our chest here. And then back to warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. Let's pull that back leg in just a touch here. And we're going to keep our hips here and pull our arm forward for a triangle. Pull, 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 and then twist. Micro bend in the knees here, don't lock them out. And you might even notice your chest opens up a little more as we look up, if that's okay on your neck. Or just look straight ahead. And then bend to come back to standing. And then bring that leg in just a little more here, but this time the feet are going to face parallel and the hips are going to face forward for our pyramid pose. Coming forward, you can stay right here or go as far as your body will let you without going to your edge. You can support your weight, thigh, ground, you can use a block. And really exhale tension, breathing into any tightness, being very kind here. It's quite a strong hamstring stretch. And then coming up, foot comes together. And we'll go the opposite way now. Big step to the back, hips are opening out the opposite way. So there is the foot's either straight or a slight angle at the back here, but the hips are open, the shoulder opens, the arms are out. Stretch those fingers, looking over our front hand, and the weight is in our front knee, front leg. Big breath, pose of courage, turn that palm up, reverse our warrior on the inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee, sweep the arm around for the lunge. And then back to warrior 2. Straighten that leg and just pull that foot in just a little here. So we're straightening the front leg for a triangle. This hip is staying right here and we're just pulling our arm forward and then a little twist. Not locking out the knees. Looking up if you can. Beautiful triangle, Holy Trinity. It's just one of the best poses in yoga in my opinion. And then we'll do another little step in even more, but this time the hips come square, the feet are parallel, and we're going forward into our pyramid, so it's a little triangle shape as well. And supporting your weight wherever that lands for you to not go to the edge of this stretch. Exhale. Beautiful work. Slowly coming up. Let's bring those feet together. Still hip width apart really, because it's the most comfortable for us Westerners. And we'll take a breath here with our hands to our heart center once more. Let's remind yourself of that little intention you set, so a little smile to yourself here as we breathe and move with awareness. And we may even do a little rock side to side. So I'm just going to move here to show you, just let it all go loose today. So side to side, swing those arms, whack on the body. And again, har out the stress if you feel brave and can feel silly and can laugh at yourself. Detoxifying lion's breath. And then let's settle into stillness here. Take one more breath here. Really breathing into your heart space, because that has been demonstrated to have numerous health benefits, increases compassion, all sorts of things. So breathe into your heart. And so feeling nice and stable, noticing the sort of weight of the feet into the floor, perhaps noticing if there's any difference, if you can really sense your body rooted into the ground. And from here, let's do a little balance. So we're just going to lift one knee if you can, and let's grab that knee for a little standing wind release. Embrace your wobbles. And if you feel really stable, then just pull that knee back, ankle forward, and look at that. We've got a warrior one. Hands can go to the front if they like. And with control, let's bring that knee back up again. Yeah. And down. Shake it out. Let's do it again. Other side. Inhale, wind release, standing. Woo. It's hard actually. So bring that knee up. Give it a little hug into the body. Stretch the inner thigh. So then with control, we push that leg back and balance here. Hands can come to front if you like. Keeping our hips nice and square. Smiling at your wobbles. And bring that knee back up. Nice. Good work. Really activates all those leg muscles. Makes you feel quite unbalanced. So let's take a breath. So there's nothing better than healing for a little cactus arms. And let's try a goddess pose. So feet are wide, hips are wide here. Bring the arms back into cactus, opening up our heart space, and lunge. Back up to stand, hands to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Bending down. Opening up everything, every chakra here. Look up if you can. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one, you can do it. Inhale, open, bending down, maybe even a little deeper here. And back up to stand. Lovely work. So let's bring our hands out into a 5-pointed star here. Feel really expansive and open up. And let's sway a little here, soft knees. Let's sway side to side, sort of like a starfish swaying in the waves. So it sort of does a little moving stretch and flow on your side body. And try and breathe. And then coming back to stillness, let's bring those feet in. Walk them in. Little step. So one more little hip opener while standing. Using a little bit of balance as well. We're going to lift that knee once more. And the foot comes over the knee, and we're going to sit down as if you're in a chair. And this is sort of like a standing pigeon here. You can keep your hands at heart center if you feel really stable, or wherever feels good for you. And you should feel this in the outer hip. Couple of breaths. And with control, we'll go to the other side, little step. Lifting the opposite. Ankle over knee, sitting down as if it's a chair, and we're just hanging out. Breathe here, feeling that beautiful outer hip glute open up. Inhale to come up. Wonderful. Noticing this body that's releasing tension, much more spacious. And let's take our hands, our feet wide once more for a big wide leg forward fold. So feet are usually facing straight ahead, but find what feels right for you. Hands on hips or out to the side. Let's go out to the side, shall we? Inhale, keeping that spine and neck long, and we're coming all the way down. Support your weight if you can. You can use a cushion or a chair here. And exhale, go to where feels really nice. Exhaling, letting go. Making sure the jaw is relaxed, shoulders are away from the ears, and you're just hanging here, hanging out. let's support your weight. Little half lift, look up. Bend those knees a little to come all the way up. Once more. And hands to heart center. So doing well. Let's bring those feet together. And we'll come down on the mat now just to finish off. So we might go into a downward dog. So it's always good to stretch out the backs of the legs as we've just been working those areas. So just tucking the toes, fingers are nice and wide. Shoulders are away from the ears. We're just going to lift back into our down dog here. Ankles don't have to come to the floor here. You can bend the knees and the hips will go a bit higher. So we're looking for the shoulders to come towards the thighs. So breathe in this lovely, restful, rejuvenating pose. And then we're going to pull one leg forward for a pigeon. So say we'll bring this leg forward, the ankle's sort of coming towards the foot. Make a few adjustments if you like. It doesn't have to be all the way into pigeon. You can make adjustments like this. So some people really like the leg to be straight, but most people need a bit of an angle here for it to feel not uncomfortable. So let's inhale to arch, exhale to fold over our leg, supporting your weight here, however that looks. A couple of deliberate breaths and let go of tension in the hips and the thighs. That's a great pose, especially if you've sat at desks. We call it runner's stretch for a reason. Let's tuck that toe back and we'll try and lift into down dog once more. And we'll go the other side. So bring that foot forward. Maybe make a few adjustments. We're trying to slide the hip down to the ground while also sort of getting the angle on that front leg. Inhale to arch. Exhale to fold over that front leg. Support your weight. Let it all hang. Let gravity and your body weight do its thing. And if any of these poses feel like, oh yeah, I really need that today, you can pause the video. Let's swing those legs around now. Take a little easy pose, which is just our cross-legged pose here. Let's sit nice and tall. Loosen those shoulders. Maybe a little wriggle here. And we're just going to notice what our body feels like after just those little movements. Big breath. And a quick reminder of your Sankalpa, and I wish you lots of self-compassion and kindness today. So hands to heart center. Let's finish here, but you can keep going if you like. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.